Good morning. Long time no chat. How's it going? It feels like it's been forever since I have been able to do a knitting update. And it has. It was before Thanksgiving that I did a final one, and we're gonna chat everything that has happened since then because it has been absolute chaos. So, yeah. Good morning. And I'm drinking tea, believe it or not. Found a tea that I absolutely love, and I've been enjoying a morning cup of tea. So that's what I'll be sipping on today. It's like a winter punch. So it's like appley, orangey, cinnamony. It's very good. So that's what I'll be sipping on this morning. So grab your cozy drink, grab your knitting, and come join me for a knitting morning, a little knitting update, and everything that's been going on. So, I'm Tiffany. If you don't know who I am, Tiffany with an I. Thank you, Mom. But I'm Tiffany, and I live here in Wiesbaden, Germany, currently. And I love knitting. I love talking knitting. I love sharing all my projects and updates and everything yarn, fiber. I love it all, and I love chatting about it. So mornings with Tiffany, that's how this started. So it's a new year. It has been a hot minute since I've seen you, so happy new year. I hope that your holiday break was as amazing as mine. So when we left off last time, it was a week before we were going on our next trip. We went to Malta, which was amazing. I would love to go back in like the warmer months when I can actually like chill at the beach. But I could also see that place being absolutely packed for the summer. But we really did enjoy our time there, and it was just so relaxing. Just what we needed before we flew home to Ohio that next week. I have been in the States, in Ohio, visiting my family all of December, and I have so much to share of all the yarn that I got there, everything I got to do there, but it was such a great holiday break. It was great to be able to go back to where I'm from and, you know, just take a little break from Germany and speak a language that I speak and small talk with people I don't know and go to a grocery store and not feel overwhelmed and be able to read signs and turn right on red and just all of the American things that I missed. It really was a lot of fun, and I got to see my niece and nephew and my sister and brother-in-law, spend all the time with my parents. It was great. There were people I didn't get to see while I was home, but sickness is like rampant right now. I don't know if you can hear it in my throat. It'll probably get worse as we go because I'll be talking. But everybody was catching the flu, and so we kind of just like stayed at the house because I was like, I'm not getting something before flying back and then having everybody fly sick. Like, I'm not doing that. So, but we had a lot of fun. I was able to go to my local yarn shop. They had knit night while I was home, and I got to see all of my ladies, my friends at knit night, and it just filled my cup, because I would say that's the one thing that sucks about over here. There's no knitting group. There's no like weekly get together, and it can be really hard because I find friends in my community, and if I can't find a community, I don't have many friends. And so it can get really lonely at times. So it was nice to be able to go and see all my friends again and catch up with everybody, see what we're all making, and yeah, I took some like German cookies and stuff, and so that was really fun. It just filled my cup exactly like I was hoping it would. So yeah, my local yarn shop is Pin Drop, which is in Yorksville, Ohio. It's a very small shop, but it is so perfect. I did pick up some yarn while I was there, which I'll share later on about what all of the yarn I got while I was in Ohio. But yeah, so I do have a lot to cover today. I think that this is probably going to be a longer video, but we'll see how long my voice hangs in there with me. Before we start though, I want to share what I'm wearing. And funny enough, it popped up on my time hop like the other day that I was knitting this 1 year ago, and that's important, and you'll see why when we get to the whip stage. But this is my Amy sweater by Petite Knit, and it's this beautiful, beautiful raglan turtleneck. I did modify this, and what I did 2 main modifications to it. Number 1, there's no rolled hems. There's no rolled hem here, here, or on the base. And honestly, I was planning to roll them, except that I spent 3 hours Italian bind off a 2x2 rib. And right when I cast off, I remembered, oh my gosh, these were supposed to be rolled. And so I wasn't unpicking it. I just decided from there on out, everything we'll just have an Italian bind off and a 2x2. And I actually prefer that because the second modification was I inserted my own Scandinavian motif in the body portion. And let me grab it, sorry. I picked a motif that was divisible by the number of stitches for the body on my size. And I got it from this book by Mary Jane Mucklestone. It's 150 Scandinavian motifs. So this book is really, really fun. See, that's where I got it from. And I just plugged and chugged away. So yeah, I made my own chart on Stitch Fiddle, and as soon as I split for sleeves, I knit 1 row of green. Was it 1 row? I think I knit 1 row of green, and then I started the motif. And yeah, I absolutely love this sweater. I wear it so much. I want to make myself another one because I wear it so often, and I'm really loving like the turtleneck season. I have another turtleneck, the terrazzo, and I love both of them equally. I really loved this one. So this is my Amy sweater. I knit this in Sandnes Garn Pure Gint, which is a DK weight, 100% wool. Do I have one on my shelf? I don't see it. Yeah, I don't think I have one. Well, wait. I know one exists. It's just a matter of where exactly. That's that. I really don't want to like tear apart all of this, but I know my other Pure Gimp is out in the living room, which I'm not gonna go get. So if I cannot find it here, it's my leg. Nope. Okay, that's all right. I was gonna show it, but it's fine. I'm going to look it up though real quick because I don't want to say it. So this was the first time I used Pure Gint, and I loved it. 100% would use it again. It wears really well. You can see there are some piles, but like I said, I wear this all the time. But it does have this nice, like, worn in kind of look to it. All right. English, please. All right, so Norwegian wool. It's 100% Norwegian wool. My only beef with Pure Gint is it only comes in 50-gram balls, and 50 grams is approximately 91 meters. So you have to buy a lot of them in order to like make a sweater. I think I had to buy 13 for my size. So that's my only beef with it, is there's a lot of yarn balls just like hanging around. But it is 100% Norwegian wool, and I love it. Love it. I love this sweater. So I'm wearing it for a reason today. You will see. But let's get into this week, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do first. I think we're going to do whips first because I only have 2 whips. We'll do whips and then we'll talk about what I got in Ohio, what I did in Ohio, and then we'll end it with my New Year's list. I love the new year. It gives me a chance to really sit down, think about last year, think about the year ahead, make some goals for myself, some things that I would love to knit this year. So I really do love January's for that reason. So let's talk whips. And since we just talked about the Amy sweater, let me bring out my first one. This sweater is one that my husband, Jared, had asked me for because I made this sweater last year and he loved it. I tell you, Jared is like my biggest hype person for my knits. He is just so supportive and just is always speaking positivity to me about what I'm making. And last year he fell in love with this and he actually tried it on and was like, I want one. I want one a little longer in the torso because he's taller. He said, but I want one. Can you make me one? And I was like, yeah, I can make you one. And he was like, I want it for our trip to Finland next year, which we're going this year to Finland. And I was like, that could be so much fun because we could both match. And so he picked out colors. This was like months ago. And then I was like, okay, well, it'll be done for Finland next Thanksgiving. I have time. And then we decided right after, or right before Malta, because Malta we were actually not supposed to go. We were supposed to go to Norway, to Tromsø, but the government shut down and it was a whole thing. And so we decided to postpone it to January. And so about a week before we were set to go home to Ohio, Jared looks at me and goes, is my Nordic sweater going to be ready for Norway? And I was like, excuse me? What do you mean Norway? Norway in January, Norway? He was like, yeah. And I was like, I thought you wanted it for Finland next year. And he says, well, I want it for Finland next year, but it would also be kind of nice for Norway, right? And I was like, yeah. So at that moment, I already had all my knitting plans for Ohio sorted, and all of those went out the window. And we ordered his yarn that night, sent it to my mom's house. I took my needles home to start Jared's own Amy sweater, so that we can be all matchy-matchy and cute. So I'm actually making a second one of these for Jared, and it's like a full circle moment because it's like I knit this time last year and now I'm knitting it again this year. But I really do love it. So my plan was, I was like, I can knock this out before Norway for sure. And I was so confident because I was like, I'm gonna have a month home and I'm gonna get to knit and only work on this, and it's gonna get done like that. And then as we were flying home, I realized I forgot my book with the motif in it. And so I would pull up a picture of mine, and then I was on Stitch Fiddle trying to like color in the dots and like remake this motif because I forgot my book. So I wasn't off to a great start. And spoiler, this is not going to be ready for Norway. And that is very heartbreaking for me, but Jared is understanding as to why, because when we were in Ohio, I did not get a lot of knitting time, believe it or not, as compared to what I get here in Germany. Our life was so crazy back in Ohio, and we were always out doing stuff, and the pattern was, I was not at a point where I could just sit and knit and knit and knit and knit. I had to sit and focus and follow a chart, and it was just not a very portable project. So I didn't get to work on it much, and I could only work on it when I'm sitting at the table because my parents' dogs are white and there's fur everywhere, and the color, you'll see why that was a problem, okay? So this is not going to be ready for Norway. I am busting my butt on it, trying to get it done as quick as possible. But we leave for Norway next Friday. Like not this coming Friday, but the next Friday. And it's just not going to happen. I know my limits and I cannot get it done. Maybe if I was a little further, but I think the big thing is also like the turtleneck. It's big. Okay, I mean it's 2x2 rib, and it's long, and so I just realistically it's just not going to get done, which is a bummer. But thankfully he understands. It will be ready for Finland later this year, so it's fine. I just am not making that goal, but that's okay. I've very much come to terms with it, and I'm very much enjoying the process. And sometimes some sweaters are slow process things. I have 3 sweaters on my needles right now, including this one. And I love all of them equally. It's just some are a slower process, and that's okay. We don't have to be knitting a sweater in 6 weeks or 4 weeks or 2 weeks. I've seen all of those challenges and they're amazing, but sometimes it's okay to go slow. So without further ado, let me show you Jared's Amy sweater. We're just dubbing this his Nordic sweater. Jared, I'm using the same yarn that I used for mine, which is the Sandnes Garn Peer Gynt. And Jared's main color he wanted is this beautiful blue. I don't want to call it navy because I don't think the color is navy. Like on the website there is a navy, but I don't think it's this one. If you're curious what exact color this is, just drop a comment and I will find the label, but everything is in my living room at the moment. I didn't grab it, I forgot. So his main color is this beautiful blue. And then his contrast color for the motif is this beautiful blue, and I believe this one's called Arctic Ice. I love these colors together. I adore them. I think he knocked it out of the park with his color choice. Okay, so these are the 2 colors, and this is where I'm sitting with his sweater. It looks so good. I love these contrasty colors together. So if you can't see, I'm still picking dog hair off of his sweater. There's dog hair everywhere. But I have officially split for sleeves, and I am officially, as of last night, halfway through the motif. So I just have from here down. So half of the motif is done. Now I would probably be a little further, except for the fact that I completely butchered this part up here. For some reason I did every other. So it was like dark blue, light blue, dark blue, light blue. And I was looking at it and I was like, this doesn't look right. But then I continued to knit 3 more rows and then like look at my picture and was like, shoot, this is not right. So I had to rip everything back and redo it so that it matched mine. But yeah, this is his so far. Like I said, for him, I am going to lengthen this bit from the end of the motif to the beginning of the ribbing. I'm actually probably going to double it, if I'm completely honest, because mine, it's not excessively long, but he wants his longer, and he also is taller than me. So I am going to lengthen that for him, but yeah. So this is my current whip of what I've been working on, and I've actually been really enjoying it. Like I said, it is a slow process, but it's been really nice. So I am excited to get through the motif, although I'm loving the color work. Just a moment of appreciation for these beautiful floats. I'm loving the color work, but I am also excited to get to the point of a mindless knit. Just knit, 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 knit all the way around. So it's coming along. It won't be ready for Norway. That's okay. I am just enjoying like the slow moving process of this. So that's what I have done of it so far. Next week's update, we'll see where I'm sitting. I'm sure I'll be through the motif at that point. But we'll see. We'll see how far I get. I don't have a time limit on this, like I said. Just enjoying the process of it. I want to make myself another one of these, and I would love to do a cream main color and then like a dark chocolate brown for the motif. Oh, I think that would just be so stunning. Just so, I love high contrast like that, where it just like pops. And I always do like all my motifs and stuff in like a neutral. And so I was like, I want to switch it. I want to do like a neutral background and then like a dark color for the motif. So I think that's the next one I want to do. But we'll see. I have a lot of sweaters on my list this year. So that's my first whip. And like I said, I only have 2 whips right now, which is not a bad thing. So originally I was just gonna work on that. I have some plans to get a couple of my bigger whips done. The first one being my Olga sweater, which I don't have to show you today because nothing has gotten done on it. I am going to be picking that up though once I'm done with this second whip I'm going to talk about in a second. And yeah, fully anticipating I'm going to need to order more yarn to get it finished. But that's okay because at least I'm going to get it finished. But I am excited to pick it back up and get to working on that again. And then I also have Jared's single malt sweater. And that one, I'm like halfway through the body. But I had to stop because it was hurting my hands. And I just haven't picked it up since then. It's been about a year. So I would love to get that one off my needles as well. And get Jared some new sweaters to wear. And the reason I want to do that, and I'm motivated to do that now, is he wore his Christmas sweater. So this last year, I decided to make everybody, well, not everybody, me, Jared, and Aiden, matching Christmas sweaters for our trip to Ohio. And I'm trying to find our photo. There it is. And so we all had these adorable, matching Christmas sweaters. Everybody had the same motif, and he loved his. And he even told me last night, he was like, I'm gonna take it to Tromsø this weekend. Also, Jared is going to Norway this weekend and next weekend. We go with him next weekend. This weekend, it's a work thing. But he was like, I'm gonna take my sweater with me because it's gonna be cold and it's wool and it'll keep me warm. And I'm like, you're freaking adorable and I love you very much. But he loved it. And when we were home, we actually invested in getting him some tailored dress pants because he was wearing like these janky Old Navy ones. And I don't know, with his job, he's able to wear some professional clothes sometimes. And I just felt like we needed to treat him to some professional clothes. He's also very oddly proportioned. He's a very small waist, but very long legs, and we can just never find proper pants for him. So we splurged and we took him and got tailored pants for him. So he has very nice pants now for his rides, and they actually look very professional. They're actual like dress pants, not colored jeans like he's been wearing. And so I want to make him a couple nice sweaters to be able to pair with those. And he loves wearing the stuff. And so I'm like, well, I'll gladly make you more if you're gonna wear it, you know. So yeah, sweaters, they take a while. It's fine. But I'll get back to my Olga sweater when I'm done with this whip. Now, this whip was kind of, I guess it'll segue into what I got when I was home, because I picked up this yarn at my local yarn shop, Pin Drop, and I cast this on 2 days ago, okay? Now, I have been wanting to make a pair of these for a while, and I'm just gonna preface this with, I found this lady before this pattern came out, okay? I'm actually gonna pull up the pattern for you. I found her before this pattern came out, and then this pattern came out, and everybody, it's currently like blowing up right now. Everybody is making this pattern. It's kind of like when the Sophie shawl came out by Petite Knit, and everybody was making the Sophie shawl, you know, that kind of thing. And so then everybody was like, oh my gosh, it's like the pumpkin spice latte of the world, because everybody was making it. And that's kind of what's going on with these right now. So was it hers? I don't remember. Maybe it wasn't hers that I saw, but I saw another pattern like this and I was like, hey, wait. Yeah, I don't think it was hers. The first ones I saw was this, like, it was a flower motif was the first ones I saw. And then I saw that these ones were coming up. So anyway, what am I making? Tiffany, shut up. What am I making? I am making the sailor slippers. I'm currently making the sailor slippers by Amy Germain. And I spoke about these before. Here we go. I spoke about these before because this was on my list to keep an eye out for at KnitFest in Switzerland back in November. I wanted to try this for a while, and that is felting. These are felted wool slippers. And I didn't find any yarn at KnitFest, but then I saw my local yarn shop Pin Drop had this yarn, and so I was like, I'll grab it when I'm home. So I cast it on the other night, and we're moving and grooving. So I wanted to share my colors first. The pattern calls for 4 colors, I believe. I just opted for 3. It's very much I mean, you can do as many as you want. You can just do 1 color. You can do like 12 colors. It's very much, you know, whatever you want, but I chose to do 3. My main color is this beautiful blue. It looks very blue-green in this screen right now, but it is like a tealy blue. And then my contrast color, that kind of looks like Jared's sweater, huh? I am having a blue moment at the moment. This is the contrast color. And then my third color is only the bottom of the slipper because I was like, I don't want to do like a light color. I'm gonna wear them, it's gonna get dirty. And so I opted for this like gray. So these 3 colors together are my sailor slippers. And guys, this is such a quick pattern, okay? 2 days and my first one is done. I seamed it yesterday. I added the I-cord yesterday. My first sailor slipper is done. Now, you're probably like, that's ginormous. Yeah, it is. Isn't it massive? It's crazy. But this is what you have to do to felt it, because how you felt it is I throw these in my washing machine and run it on a very, very hot cycle, and it will felt all of these fibers together. The important thing is that this needs to be absolutely, positively 100% wool. There can be no synthetic fibers in it, it has to be 100% wool. If it's not, the part that's not 100% wool will not felt. You will see it. So this will all felt together and shrink. At least it better shrink because these don't fit me. So yeah, it honestly kind of looks like clown feet. Like legit clown feet. But trusting the process. This is a very popular pattern right now and it's worked for everybody else, so there's no reason it shouldn't work for me. So I have my first one done. This is my left foot. And that's important to note because the way that the increases and decreases are slanting, this equates to my left foot. So I know it's gonna bother me. I'm actually going to, when everything is said and done and I have my second one completely done, any leftover yarn, I'm going to embroider an L on the bottom of it because I know it's gonna bother me if I don't know what slipper goes on what foot. So I'm gonna embroider just a little L, and then on the other one, I'll embroider a little R just so I can keep them straight. But my goal, I shouldn't say my goal, I'm hopeful that I can finish the second one, which I have started, not much. I fell asleep knitting last night. You start with this like little heel portion back here. But I'm hoping to finish this one fairly quickly. I'm going to work on it a little bit this morning and this afternoon, and then I'm going to work on Jared's sweater tonight. So I'm hopeful. I finished the whole front and bottom in one day, and then it took me one day to seam everything and do the I-cord. So I'm hoping maybe I could do that today. I'm hopeful to make the second one and felt them this weekend. I don't know if it's going to be possible. We'll just have to see. But I'm having so much fun making these. I already know these are not going to be my last pair. We have hardwoods throughout our apartment, and the floors are cold, and I think these are just great. I'm hopeful to see how it goes. Maybe Christmas gifts next year. I don't know. I'm thinking one for every season. A fall colored one, a Christmas colored one, Valentine's Day colored ones. I just think there's so many options you could do. And so I want to make them all. But I'm really finding a lot of joy in this pattern right now. It is a very quick knit. I love it. So I'm really excited to see how these turn out. So hopefully maybe next week when I talk and do another knitting update, I will have a pair of felted slippers on. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, it's a really fun process. And I'm glad to finally be making my own. I'm seeing them everywhere. Everybody is doing these right now. But I love that. I love that. And it is a pretty quick thing, so instant gratification. All right, so I picked up that yarn in Ohio. What else did I get in Ohio? Great question. Like I said, I mailed all of Jared's sweater yarn to Ohio. So I had like 17 50-gram balls of Peer Gynt that I had to bring back. And then in the mail, when I got there, I had that. And then my friend, Nicole, she runs a dye company called A Spare Room, and I've chatted about her before. She is the one who dyed all the yarn for our Christmas sweaters this year. It's a veteran-owned business. I actually met her when we both lived in Fort Benning, Georgia. And I had her troubleshoot a problem with me. I need to take this one off. So I've spoke about this yarn before. I actually spoke about it not too long ago because this one, the dreaded Malibu Barbie yarn that's supposed to be Christmas yarn, but it's not. Yeah, I feel like a broken record when I talk about this, but obviously this is not Christmas yarn. This is pink. And this has sat on my shelf for 2-3 years now. I have a whole sweater quantity, and I want to use it because I spent a lot of money on it, but I hate this colorway. It's just horrendous. I don't like it. It's not me. It's not something that I wear. So I asked Nicole, I said, help me troubleshoot this. And she had a brilliant idea. And it totally just like switched in my brain, and now I'm so excited. So she dyed up a lace weight to hold with this. We're changing direction, and we're making this no longer Malibu Barbie, but we are going to be making a glue vine sweater. Yes! Okay, so what is this? This is what she sent me in the mail. So this is a lace weight. The color is called Glue Vine. It is 80% brushed superwash merino and 20% nylon. This is 100 grams of yarn, okay? And in the 100 grams, there is 656 yards. This is massive. So massive, I only needed 2 for my whole sweater. I've never seen this much yardage. So this is a brushed merino. It is as fluffy as it looks. Now, with a lace weight, you're gonna find this a lot. Think mohair, think Surrey alpaca. Mohair, for me, it's itchy. It's not my favorite. I love Surrey alpaca. Dang, it's pricey. Okay, Surrey alpaca is so soft. This is so soft. It is not itchy at all. It is brushed merino. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this with this. Now, this is her logo, Spare Room. You can find her on Instagram. I adore her. And she also has an Etsy shop that has so much yarn, which I'm gonna show you another one here in just a second. So I'm so excited. I'm pretty sure she made mittens with this, and I think she's working on a sweater in the brushed merino. I am so excited to get a swatch made. I want to swatch this up and see what it's going to look like, which I'll probably do once my second Sailor Slipper's done. I don't want to be doing too much on time. But this is on the docket this year. I'm going to be making a glue vine sweater, and I just think that this cranberry glue vine color, it is just absolute perfection. She really nailed it. I mean, when I talk to her about a vision and I'm like, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and then she just runs with it, and then this is what I get. It's so much fun having a best friend who's a yarn dyer, because like, hello. So this was in the mail for me. I'm really excited to get this on my needles. It is so incredibly soft. And you get so much yardage. So stay tuned for this. But also, when I opened the package to find this, I found a little surprise. And boy, was I excited. Nicole did all of these Christmas like collection, I guess. And there was one that I was like, oh, this is so cute. And it was this peppermint set, sock set. And it was like this candy cane main color with like this green, pop of green for the heel and stuff. I was like, that's absolutely adorable. Well, look what was in my package. Also, can we just appreciate the little Santa hat on her logo for the season? So cute. So this is the fingering weight peppermint sock set. It's an 80-20, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. What does that mean? It means that I can throw these in my washing machine and lay them flat to dry. It's a superwash merino. The nylon is in there purely for strength, and I do that. Some people wonder how I wash my socks. These ones, throw in the washing machine. If it's an 80-20, I throw it in my washing machine and I'll lay it flat to dry. And that's the only knit thing I throw in my washing machine ever, is socks, okay? So main one is 400 yards, and the mini is 400 yards, 80 yards, 100 grams, 20 grams. I am so excited to slap this on a cone and crank a tube, because they are so festive. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Nicole, for this. Yeah, so these will get made here soon, because I really want to see this like all on a tube and see what it looks like. So that was the first package. The second package and final package that I had was my best friend. Her grandma passed away this year, and they found a big box of yarn and knitting stuff, and so they were like, hey, do you want this? And I said I would love it. And so I finally got to go home and kind of go through it. I have a plan for this yarn, and some of it is like really old yarn, like it's a old Red Heart. There was a couple other like little skeins that I got, but these are the main ones that I was kind of excited for. I have never seen this kind of stuff before. Half and half. Okay, so they're all a little bit different. I just realized that, but all right, so this is from a brand called Fleischers. It's sock yarn, and some of it's like a 50-50, 50% wool, 50% nylon. So it's washable, shrink and stretch resistant. And yeah, I'm not making socks with it. I don't want to talk too much about what I'm making with it, but these are the 4 colors that she had. Very Christmassy, right? So I do have a plan for this, and yeah, I'm actually like really excited about it. So it just meant a lot to be able to be gifted this yarn, and yeah, like I said, I do have a small little plan for this, but I was able to go through that and pick what I wanted, which is really great. So I snagged these while I was home as well. And then the final yarn that I got when I was home was when we went out to Amish country. So Jared and I celebrated our 9-year wedding anniversary, and while we were home, so we decided to do something that we've not been able to do yet, and that was go away for the night. Since we've had Aiden, we've never left him. We don't have family that lives nearby, so we don't have that luxury to be able to just drop him off with people that we know and go enjoy some quality time together. And we did, though. We were able to when we went home, and my parents so graciously took some time off of work to spend some time with our boy, and we got to go out to Berlin and stay at the tree house that we actually stayed at for our honeymoon. So when we were out there, we did some shopping, and we went to this one market, I guess you could say, and inside it's like all of these booths of local artisans in the area. And so I was looking and looking and looking, and Jared was like, "Hey, I see yarn over there." And I was like, beeline straight for it. And yeah, I found somebody who sells yarn. So this is called Essential Luxuries. It is a super fine 3-ply DK yarn. It's 80% alpaca and 20% wool. It's so soft. Yeah, so it says hand wash only using gentle cleaner made for wool garments. It is a DK weight. And yeah, is that all? I think it is. There's 220 yards on it. And I grabbed 2, just in this really pretty cream color. But how fun to find yarn from a local place. So yeah, I don't exactly have a plan for this yet. It is a alpaca and wool. So no plan yet. I do have 3 skeins of a superwash DK up there that I'm like wanting to use, but I'm not sure if I would pair it with this, but we'll see. I don't know. No plans for this yet. It was one of those, ooh, it's soft, it's pretty, I'm gonna get it type of ones, which I don't generally do, but it doesn't hurt to, it's not a bad thing. I just like to have plans for what things that I buy, but this was very much just like a spur of the moment. So that's all the yarn that I brought back. And my whole carry-on case, suitcase was just filled with yarn. So it was very light, at least, to carry around, but there was a lot of yarn. Okay, so before I get into the other 2 things that I got, because the last one, it's a little bit of, I'll explain how this is going to go through the entire year. It's something else I'm going to be doing on here and sharing about. So before we do that, I want to talk about what I made in Ohio. As you remember, I said, you know, I'm going to work on Jared's sweater, but Jared's sweater was not a portable project. And the only other thing that I took home with me, if you remember, was all of those sock tubes, okay? And I'm not even sure I shared all of the sock tubes that I took home. Sorry, my throat is starting to go. But I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 pairs of socks done since Malta. And then I will show you what's in here when I'm done sharing those. But I brought my sock blocker out to put the sock on and show it and have a little chit chat about it. So this first pair, this yarn is yarn that I got at Knit Fest. I dubbed these my biking socks, and I made these when I was in Malta. I'm dubbing them my biking socks because wow, they are bright. We have a running joke here because I am the one who's constantly almost getting hit by buses and cars. And so I'm like, well, they can't miss me now. So I made this. This yarn is from Giggling Gecko yarn in the color Limoncello. And then this pink is a 100% wool that I just got downtown. It's a commercial yarn, and that's the yarn I used to make Jared's Christmas socks. So I made this pair when I was in Malta, right before we came home. It's a really fun, really fun color. I'm excited to wear those. So I guess I'll just put them there. And then the next pair that I made, I chatted a little bit about this before, I think on the last video. This yarn is really special to me because it is the yarn that I made my first sock in that didn't fit because I used this super shorty needle because that's what they said sock needles were. But this is a very special yarn to me. It's from an office collection from a designer that no longer is dyeing yarn. And the colorway is called Kevin's Chili. And then I just used a undyed natural for the heel and the toe. Kevin's Chili is this one. So this is the second pair I got and finished. And then this next pair is yarn that I got in Scotland. It is from Wee County Farms. It is Kinross 4-ply, and I'm actually ordering more yarn of this to make a sweater because I love this yarn. It knits up so beautifully. These are all hand cranked socks, okay? I have an Earl Bacher circular sock machine sitting over there, and I cranked all of these tubes and then I cut in heels and toes, and I love this yarn so much. I'm ordering a whole sweater quantity to make a sweater. So that'll be coming up in the new year. All right, now we are getting to yarn that I took home to Ohio, and I made these in Ohio. And this yarn is from the Yarn Addict company. It is called the Coastal Sock Set. I got this in a yarn subscription a couple years ago. It's just this really nice neutral brownie color. So I made these ones while I was home. And then the next one, I have to go through my things because I don't exactly remember. Yep, so this one is from Paisley Knits Yarn Company, and it's called Daybreak. This one was also one that I got in a yarn subscription a couple years ago. The yarn subscription, who was that through? Oh, La Mercerie in Washington. This one's really fun. This one looks it looked very different in the skein versus like actually cranked up. I much prefer it like this. It's very pretty. So yeah, really pink. And I love the like deep purple mini that she chose to pair with it because I think it pairs really well. This next set, these are two that I have been saving for years until I got my sock machine because I wanted to crank tubes with them because they are so beautiful. These next two are from Sorella Yarn from her Knitflix collection a couple years ago. This first one is called Casita. That's when Encanto came out, and talk about a beautiful variegated. It's so evenly distributed. The colors are beautiful, and I love the pink that is paired with it because there's really not a whole lot in the actual one, and so I think it just contrasts. It's so pretty. So this is Casita, and then the second one of my all-time favorite shows. It is a comfort show for me, and that same collection, the Netflix collection, this one is called Bake from the Great British Bake Off. I have been loving the little pastels in this, and the light purple that she paired with it. So pretty. So I made these ones while I was home as well. I love this colorway. It's so cute. Is that one? Oh, these next ones. This one is from Baleara Fibers in Ireland. These are hand-dyed in Limerick, Ireland. I have been holding on to this one as well because I wanted to crank a tube. I wanted to make these because we are going to Ireland in March, and I wanted to wear them on my trip. I love this variegated yarn. I don't say that about a lot of variegated. There's very few that actually look good. A lot of times it's just not evenly distributed. It looks kind of wonky. But this one is absolutely gorgeous, and I love the little like buttercream yellow that she chose to go with it. So cute. So these are ready for our trip. This next pair is a shorty. I've already made a pair of socks in this yarn, but I love this yarn so much that I was like, I want to make a shorty pair so I can really use as much as I can. This is from Woolberry Fiber Company, and if you saw her Instagram today, you saw that she is moving on in the world, and she is not going to be dyeing yarn anymore. She did talk about a new creative adventure that she's going to be going on, but my heart is a little sad. I really did love Woolberry Fiber Yarn Company. She had a lot of beautiful colorways through the years, and this is one of my favorites. It's Ode to My Valentine. It's this beautiful tweed yarn, and I paired with a bright red. It is a shorty, and there is a hung hem. There's not much. They're very short, but I did want to use the entire skein of this because I love it so much. But I have already made one pair with this yarn. And then the final pair, yeah, I'm still going. The final pair that I finished, well, I started it in Ohio and the travels home, and I finished it the other day. This yarn is just a commercial yarn that I got downtown Wiesbaden at the yarn shop down there. It's a commercial grade. It is 100% wool. I got the same exact yarn, and I made it for Jared for Christmas in his hot pink, and this one is a neon orange, and then I used that Giggling Gecko limoncello for the toe and the heel. These ones are also very bright, but very fun. I don't know, I just wanted some bright socks. I'm all about, like, my socks don't have to match. Like, I would wear this with this, like, because you're not going to see my socks. But they're going to keep my feet nice and toasty. Now, that's all of the sock tubes that I made while I was home in Ohio. So I didn't get a lot of that knitting done, like with the sweater, but those were so portable and so quick between a heel and a toe twice, and then you have a pair of socks. That also, while I was home, I decided to take the extra from both of the socks and measure out and put waste yarn in so that I'm ready to go to make more socks. I am not to waste yarn, that's for sure. So when I cranked the tube, I also cranked the remaining. So this is what I have of that Paisley Knits. So here, this will separate, one sock is here, one sock is here. And then, so the cuff, nope, the cuff, the heel, the toe. Sorry, I was like, that doesn't make sense. And then cuff, heel, toe. So I have a shorty set out of that. Sometimes with these like odd and end ones, the hardest part is measuring things out. So I always start with the cuff and then the toe, and then I measure what I need for my foot, and then I insert for my heel. But I can still get a pair of shorty socks out of this. So there's one. The second one is this Encanto, which I'm excited to get another shorty set out of. cuff, heel, toe. That's the second one. The third one is that coastal set, the brown cuff, heel, toe, cuff, heel, toe. So that's pair number 3. Pair number 4 is the orange that I just did. And these ones are gonna actually be a little longer than a normal one. So we have cuff, heel, toe. I'm not sure, since it's so long, I might be able to do another folded one and make them kind of like crew length. So that is pair number 4. And then the final pair is the only one that I didn't get done in Ohio, and that is this Strings of Lights one, but I did measure out for, I have to remeasure to make sure, but I'm pretty sure it's cuff, heel, toe. Or maybe it's backwards because I wanted this. See the color pooling? I wanted this at the foot that you won't see. So I think it's toe, heel, cuff up here. I'll have to remeasure this one. But everything is like lifeline, so I can just cut and unpick. So I have 1, 2, 3, I have 5 pairs ready to go. And I just keep them in this little bag, and I pull them out as I go. There is one that I'm not able to show you that I did finish as well. It was a gift, and I've already gifted it. So technically I made 11 pairs in Ohio. I was very busy with my socks, but I also have one that is out in my sock bag currently. So I guess there's 6 that still need to get made. But like I said, these are great little hop in a car, get a little bit done here and there. I'm currently not working on any. Like I said, I do have one out there, but I have my sailor slippers and my Jared's Nordic sweater that I'm working on. So it's not like a dire need to get things done. So that's everything I made in Ohio. A lot of socks, and I'm so pumped about it. I actually have to get another sock organizer. I have these like stacking things, drawers, and yeah, my sock drawer is full. I need to get another one, and I love that. I love knit socks. I'm always in a pair of knit socks because it's so dang cold. So let's talk about the other 2 things that I got when I was in Ohio, and then we will finish it off with kind of my 2026 goals. And the one thing does lead into my goals. So what else did I get in Ohio? Well, Jared and I love going to bookstores like Books A Million or Barnes and Noble, and we went to Books A Million, and I always like looking through their knitting section. 9 times out of 10 it's one of like the Vogue knittings, you know, basic ultimate quick reference guide, or just, you know, like how to knit books. And so I have a small little library over there of books that I collect through the years and stuff. But I found something that I've seen these before. I didn't know that Vogue Knitting had one, but I picked up the project journal. I am not always the greatest about documenting my journey of projects, and I want to get better at that because, for instance, when I made this second Amy sweater, I was like, where's the chart I used? Where's the notes I did? And so it's gonna be nice to have this to do it, and it's actually really cool. I think they said that there's 25 project pages in here, so you can put 25 projects in, and there's graph paper at the end. There's also like standard body measurements and foot measurements and yarn weight systems and needle inventory pages, common abbreviations, and then there is grid paper. And I think one of the coolest things is this grid paper, which you can do color work on, like, because each V, you know, like a duplicate stitch. I think that's so fun. But let's just like look. All right, so this one, this is what your project page looks like. And so you put the project name, the designer, who you made it for, your start date and your end date. You talk about the yarn that you used, the needles you used, any notions that you used. You can write down the measurements that you're using and the gauge, which is going to force me to make a gauge swatch, which is fine. But you write all that down, and then you also have grid paper for any notes, or if you need to draw a schematic. And I think there's actually a page in here where it talks about how to draw a schematic. Yep. Taking body measurements. Maybe it was in the front I talked about. Yep, how to draw schematics. It's on there. So it gives you like a little idea. And then, yeah, and then some dotted pages for more notes. And you'll see like over here on the end, you can see this is for project 10, which is the one that I was talking about. So I think it's really fun. I am planning to put some of my projects in here. Maybe not all of them. I'm always one of those, I'm like, not everything deserves space like this, but for instance, like Jared's sweater and stuff, I would like to just keep notes on that, especially with his measurements and such, and if he's ever like, I want another one, I already have the measurements and everything like that. So I did pick this up. I think it's really fun. Hopefully I can put it to good use and I don't know, keep better tabs on some of my projects. And then the second thing that I picked up that I'm so excited about is this little, it's not even a book. It's from Claire Crompton, and it's just labeled knitting stitches. And it says, learn to knit texture in 52 cards. And this is so fun. I have seen some stuff like this before. I'm sure you've seen like the doodle decks and such. This is just really, they're these cards, pretty heavy cards. And so this is just your chart key on how to read some of the cards. And I had Jared check, and there is 51 cards here. 51 cards, okay? And all of them are different. You've got some cables, you got some lace, you have just some texture. And my New Year's goal, see if we can stick with it, is there's 51 cards and there's 52 weeks in a year. And I just think this would be really fun to do, one card a week. You know, it's just, they're just little swatches. It's nothing major. It's not a whole garment. It's gonna teach you some new stuff. It'll refresh your brain on some old stuff. It's not like a big commitment. It's just like something fun, something small to keep your mind off of things and to just take a break every now and then. Sorry, I saw one on here and I'm like, where is that? Because another thing is like, I want to just like grow my you know, knits and grow my knowledge on different textures. I don't knit textures very often. I do love lace weight. Cables kind of scare me. And yeah, I just would love to get better at that. Like woven cables. Are you kidding me? That's gorgeous. Honeycomb fabric. So we're gonna pick a card every week and I'm gonna try to make a swatch and just to brush up on my skills and improve my skills and just do something fun for the week. Fun, quick, and yeah. So we're gonna pick a card. I don't want to mix them up, but I'll fan them out and we'll pick a card. And the next week when I come back, I should hopefully have the swatch done and then we'll pick another new one. So this is not going to go well. All right. Come on. Go here. And we'll cut this and we'll do this one. Marriage lines. Oh, fun. All right. So a little bit of texture. I see some seed stitch in there. And so then on the back, it gives you basically how to knit this texture. So it's a 12-row repeat, and it's a panel, meaning like a panel of 11 stitches. So this is the swatch I'm gonna make this week. Fun. All right, so I'm probably gonna just be using like some scrap yarn I have, some worsted weight probably. So yeah, I thought this was really fun, and I was like pretty determined. I'm like, I can do one a week. Okay, fun. Just something small, get my mind off of things and knit for no reason. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is some New Year's goals. And I came up with this list on Sunday morning at 2 a.m. We are still kind of dealing with jet lag over here, and Aiden on Sunday was up at 1 in the morning, and I couldn't get him back down. He was wide awake, and so we just went out to the living room. He wanted to watch Shrek, and I actually got a good chunk of my knitting done at that time. And this list of things that, you know, now listen, this whole list is not going to happen. Realistically, this whole list is not going to happen. There's not enough hours in the days for me to knit all of this. But it was nice to try to get some things out of my head and onto paper of things that I would like to do at some point. So this list is named What I Want to Knit, okay? And yeah, I just like was thinking and just spilling it out onto paper. So obviously I want to finish my Olga sweater. I think for me right now that's just like a big hurdle, and I don't know why. But I really want to finish my Olga sweater. So once I finish the sailor slipper, that's getting picked right back up. And I want to finish Jared's Nordic, obviously. I think I was talking about, yep, Jared's single malt. The 3 big whips in my whip basket right now, I want to get those done. I also started 2 years ago this like knit garland with these like pine leaves on it. And I would love to finish that garland because I already made like the Christmas baubles and the Christmas tree garland I made this year. I've already made all of those pieces to just put on it. And so I would love to finish that for my window for our final Christmas here. I finally want to make a Musselburgh hat, which is a reversible hat, but it's a fingering weight. I've seen them. This pattern is always in the top 10 or top 20 on Ravelry. It's been on my list to make. I just haven't. I don't generally make a lot of like smaller like hats and scarves and stuff. But I want to make that. Just pick, you know, 2 of my favorite skeins, and it's knit, I know, in one piece and then like folded in on itself. So I finally want to do that. I want to make more socks. I don't really have a goal of how many I want to crank and make this year. You know, I have 6 currently that I, you know, can make. I still have some yarn up there I would love to crank into more. But yeah, more socks because I love socks. I want to do the 52 texture stitches, swatches, because I think that's a really good goal, and they're small. It's also going to improve my skill and help me understand things more, especially when it comes to cables. I did order yarn when we got back to Germany. Generally in January, I start a big new sweater project. Currently our mail is so behind over here. There's no more space because people aren't picking up their packages. And so I don't think the yarn's gonna get here in January. So I'm hoping by February it'll be here. And I'm gonna be starting my first big project of the year, which is the book club pullover by Sari Nordland. I've shared this pattern before, I've showed it before, and it's an all over cabled sweater. It's absolutely stunning, but I don't really do cables. Cables kind of confuse my brain. So it's going to be a big challenge and a big hurdle, but going through, you know, those knitting stitches and making those swatches, I'm hoping it's also going to kind of help my skills and make it a little less scary. So we'll see, but I really want to do the 52 texture swatches, and I would love to make some more ornaments this year. Not necessarily the ones I made this year, but there is an ornament pattern by Susan B. Anderson that I would love to make. And then yeah, the book club pullover is on there because I actually got that when it first came out, and I've just been too scared to make it. I'm honestly like terrified of cables. I did try to do a lace cable vest from Sorry Nordland 3 years ago, and I got this far into it and I had to rip it out. And I never went back to it, which I would love to, because that's what that superwash DK that I talked about earlier, that green yarn up there is for. It was for that. So maybe I'll get back to that. I don't know. Like I said, it scares me. I don't like messing up, and with lace, it's, if you mess up once, like, it messes up the whole thing. And cables as well. It's not like you're not going to see it. So it scares me a little bit, but I am determined to make that sweater because I love it so much. Also on the list is my glue vine sweater, because I want to use up that yarn. And I want to make some more stuffed animals. Jared and I made this like really fun list of animals, and a lot of them there's no patterns for. I would have to come up with it. And I think I love making stuffed knit loveys. And so I think it would really stretch my brain to have to design it myself and figure it out. There's a goal with all that list that we made for the future, but I just kind of want to get started on it and see how it goes. This year I would love to make myself another holiday sweater for 2026. It's our final year here in Germany, and yeah, I want to make another one. I don't know what it's going to be. It's not going to be a festive yoke. It's not going to be the one I made this year. There are other ones out there that I've seen. I also would love, if you watch AKA Nora Knits on here on YouTube, she designed this beautiful intarsia cardigan this year, and I cannot wait to see the finished, because she added all of these like beads and stuff to it. But I kind of want to make this, it's not even me because I don't crochet, but I would learn to crochet to make this. I want to make these like, I don't want to say tacky, but kind of like big old chunky granny squares with like Christmas trees and snowmen and like reindeer all over it, and just have like a super, super tacky, not tacky Christmas cardigan. So we'll see what I do for this year, but that is on the list. I want to make more colorwork yoke sweaters. I'm finding a lot of inspiration in like Nordic patterns, and so I would love to do some more Nordic inspired yoke sweaters. I have my Kinross 4-ply fingering weight sweater on here, the green socks that I made that I said I ordered sweater quantity. I would love to make a sweater in that yarn. I want to make a brioche hat. Who the heck am I? Why did I write that? Brioche hat. Oh, the Andrea Mowry. Okay. Andrea Mowry came out with this one pretty recently. What was it called? Here. I don't know what that one was called. But she also had another one that was called the Harlow worsted hat, and it's worsted weight, so it's going to move quick, and it's brioche, so I would learn brioche quickly. That's the goal. That's what it was. So that's why it's on there. I've never done brioche. Don't know the first thing about it, but it would be a new skill that I would love to learn. I would love to make the Nordic snowflake sweater, which was on my list to look at for yarn when I was at Knit Fest and I didn't find it, but she did just come out with the original one was a fingering weight, I believe. And this one is a worsted weight. She came out with a new one. That I want to make that very much. So that's on my list this year. Maybe that could be my holiday sweater for 2 birds, 1 stone. That could be cute. Make it like foresty green with white, or white with foresty. Oh, and then I could do like, okay, brainstorming, but I kind of like that idea. Okay, and then the other thing I want to make is a Weasley jumper. Do you know what a Weasley jumper is? If you listen or read Harry Potter or watch Harry Potter, you know what a Weasley jumper is. And that is the sweater that Mrs. Weasley makes everybody. And it's just this sweater with their initial on it. There is a designer who actually makes this pattern. And let me see if I can even find her. Yep. Knitting by Rita. Is Rita K. What is it? Oh, please load. You ain't gonna load, are you? She's on Instagram. But she has designed a pattern and actually knits Weasley jumpers. And I think that they are so fun. And I'm like, yeah, I want to make my own Weasley jumper. She uses this like beautiful tweed. And so that's kind of what I want to do. It's so fun. Whoop, sorry. But Weasley jumper is on my list to make this year. Because we love Harry Potter. We love Harry Potter. We watch it. Like, we'll have weekends where we're like, let's watch the Harry Potters. And it's January. It's officially my 1-year anniversary since I first read through the books or listened to them on my audiobooks. And guess what I just borrowed from the library again? We're doing it again. I loved the series so much. We're doing it again. And then the final thing on my list is the yarn from Knit Fest. I have 2 sweater quantities in there that I want to make the Cozy Classic Raglan Light. It's a Jessie Made design. And I want to do that for the yellow yarn because I'm just doing a fingering weight for that one. And then the Giggling Gecko yarn that I got, I am probably going to get, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that same pattern because that's a Surrey and a fingering, which plumps up to about a DK. So I'm going to find a pattern for that one, but I want to make those 2 sweaters as well. Knit Fest is happening again this year, and yes, I am going again. I think it's just going to be me going though. Jared and Aiden are just going to stay back here this year. But I am going, so I'd love to get it done before I go. And I don't know, maybe we'll wear one of those to Knit Fest. So we'll see. But that is my ginormous, as I throw it, that's my ginormous list for 2026. Is it all going to happen? Absolutely not. And I'm fully aware that it's not going to happen. But it's nice to dream a little bit and to put some things out into existence and put it onto paper because I actually will keep this piece of paper and reference back to it many times this year. I also have my jar that still sits up there with things that I want to make in it. So I go through that jar every now and then and I pull things out and set them to the side, and some things I change my mind on and no longer want to make that. And that's kind of the beauty of knitting. Like, you get to make whatever you want. I'm a very selfish knitter. I knit a lot for myself. There's nothing bad about that, but yeah, I have a lot that I want to do this year. A lot. And I try not to plan too far ahead. But like I said, I'm currently working Jared's Nordic. finish my sailor slippers, and I'm going to pick back up my Olga. And I may do something small in there because I've got a lot of big projects. Big project. Maybe I'll throw like a hat or a scarf in there somewhere. Break it up a little bit. But we'll see. So that's everything. I told you it was going to be very long today. So I'm not sure if this will be an every week thing or if it'll be an every 2-week thing. I guess we'll see what I get done this week and go from there. This though is going to happen. This is this week's. And if I end up doing every 2 weeks, maybe just check Instagram and I'll pull one for next week on there, and then I'll share them both that next week. But yeah, we'll see. Until then, I'll see you on Instagram. I have decided I'm going to do some mini updates on there because I heard from some people that they do miss me on Instagram. So I decided I'll probably do some quick little updates, not on everything I'm making on Instagram. And then my more in-depth Chatty Cathy, go into depth on all of my knits will happen over here because I very much enjoy talking more about my projects with a longer time frame than what Instagram allows. So, all right, well, I hope that you guys have a really great day. I'm gonna go make another cup of tea and get to knitting. So I'll talk to you soon.